Good evening, everyone. In this video, Group 3, our group will discuss pages 96 to 103 of the Balanced Scorecard for Dummies book in Chapter 6 entitled Creating a Customer Scorecard. So in continuation of Group 2's video, we are now on the topic of getting dependable data. According to the book, anyone can get data, but the problem is getting dependable data. So what does dependable data mean? It means the data that are only relevant, accurate, and timely para sa purpose of your study or research for the business. One method to collect data is the focus group. So in businesses, they usually conduct customer focus group discussions. So for those who are not yet familiar with what a focus group is, you can pause and read the definition here. The following pitfalls or problems should be taken into account and avoided for your focus group sessions to be more effective and get our dependable data. Not getting experienced people. The quality of the focus group's outcome depends sa ability of the people involved. Experienced people will help the company get the most out of the discussion. Next, for the second point of not informing the group, it is important now when meeting the focus group for the first time, the necessary information should be known to the participants to make them feel safe and easily partake in the discussion. Next, making the group too small will provide insufficient data, while making it too large will make the group difficult to facilitate and properly glean information from. Typically, 3 to 8 participants lang dapat. Next, getting a true representative sample. To avoid this, participants should be selected based on a predetermined criteria, like what products or services they use in the company, their location, age, socioeconomic status, and more. Next is cherry picking. This should be avoided since biased opinions will also make the data unreliable and you cannot improve your products or services this way. Next is not maintaining a level of flexibility. This defeats the purpose of conducting a focus group, which is allowing ideas to flow naturally. Next is making recordings. Although it's something you should do, some people might feel uncomfortable, so it's important to inform them beforehand if you are recording the session. Next is allowing individuals to avoid contributing to the discussion. Everyone should be able to contribute to the session to make the most out of it, but some might feel shy or intimidated. That is why a good experienced facilitator is needed to ensure and encourage everyone to participate. Next is too many outsiders showing up and asking questions. The running of the focus group should be left to the experts and ensure that they are the only ones interacting with the members para walang disruptions, and to ensure the smooth sailing of the focus group session. To conclude the discussion on focus groups, conducting a customer focus group can be very beneficial as long as it is well managed and run by experts. And also remember to look out for the pitfalls discussed.
Next, I will discuss all about asking all the wrong questions. When using a customer surveys and interviews, we'll need a design questionnaire to get answers to questions and gather customer data and facts. In designing a good questionnaire, it must consist of clear and concise questions, which the respondents can answer, can understand and respond immediately. Here are the following list of the more pitfalls made in designing and using questionnaire. 1. They provide limited insights into problem. If the questionnaire provide limited insights into problem, the respondent also give limited answers into problem. Dahil fixed answers lang ang maging data sa questionnaire. Unlike on the interview, we can get additional information na related doon sa questions. Example is, do you study every day? Sa tanong na ito, hindi ko alam kung paano ito gamitin dahil studying is general. Baka nagbasa or nag-highlight lang sila ng notes, then they think is already studying. Second, many times the wrong questions are asked. The question must be related to the topic. Mali o hindi ukol sa topiko ang mga tanong na makikita sa questionnaires. That's why the respondent don't understand and respond immediately. Third, the question asked may open to interpretation. It must clear and detail yung questions para makakuha ng clear response to the respondents. We should avoid double or multi-meaning questions. 4. Bias may enter into the picture. Bias is a systematic error introduced into sampling or testing by encouraging one outcome over other. Kung ang respondent did not answer honestly by providing ng tamang sagot, that comes their true feelings sa issue. Example, personal information, pwede nila itong i-hide yung totoo nilang personality, like their name, age, sex, income level, and other. 5. Questionnaire design is often left to those who have no understanding or background. Kung yung gumagawa ng questionnaire ay walang kaalaman or sa paggawa at pag-implement ng questionnaire, it turns into mess dahil people feel na hindi sila makapag-respond honestly doon sa questions. It can turn respondent to refuse to answer or magsinungaling or try to conceal their attitudes. 6. The question asked may be asked for personal information that respondent don't feel comfortable in answering. I have seen many survey with a series of demographic questions such as name, age, sex, income level, and so on. But it is better to leave this question to the end. Or it should be optional, either ibigay or hindi nila ibibigay ang mga ganitong information. 7. Purely designed questionnaire will ask the most important questions or near the end. Kung yung questionnaire is purely designed, it makes respondent feel that they cannot respond honestly. Pero kailangan mag-respond sa paraan that it is socially acceptable. Ang questionnaire should obtain the most complete and accurate information possible to encourage respondent to provide accurate and complete information. 8. Designing the questions in no particular order without logical flow. Sa questionnaire should be arranged for sound analysis, interpretation, at possible. For example, from personal information like name, age, sex, etc., down to educational attainment, to work history, and other information na kailangan, so dapat ito nakasalansan. 9. Not providing a cover letter. In questionnaire, this is one important, a cover letter, which explains what, how, and why the questionnaires by providing a direction before the questions kung paano nila malalaman kung paano ito sagutan. Example of questions na makikita sa questionnaire. What are the rules of B&B bago pumasok sa production area? Choose only 2. So dito, malalaman ng respondent na kailangan lang ng 2 sagot. In that way, may alam ang respondent kung paano ito sasagutan. 10. Not running a pilot of the questionnaires. This is part of the common pitfalls dahil pilot survey is need to test the waters of the survey with a smaller sample size. A pilot survey checks if the questionnaire is effective clear. And the last, when using Likert scale of questionnaires. Likert scale ay isang psychometric scale kung saan ang katanungan batay sa sukatang ito ay ginagamit sa survey. It is often to measure respondent attitudes by asking the extent to which they agree or disagree sa questions.
So, keeping data charts simple. So, most of us is nagiging habit na natin na gawing komplikado pa yung mga bagay na dapat ay kalmado lang. So, the times that we tend to over-exaggerate things to make ourselves good to others. So, this applies especially when it comes to looking at data and information. So, in today's modern world, full of powerful computers and software application, so they help us with a lot of things. They make our work easier and better. But it doesn't mean that if you have this capability to do these fancy graphs and data, then you might be ending up with the wrong analysis and decision. So here are some common pitfalls you want to avoid to keep your data and charts simple and understandable. So first is not providing the who, what, and when on the chart. Second is not including legends on charts. Third is cluttering charts with too much information. Fourth is listing a long line of data. Fifth is showing too many comparison in one chart. Sixth is using too many colors as a background on the chart. Seventh is not staying focused on the story on the chart. 8 is using complicated analytical charts that are unnecessary. 9 is not proofreading the chart for errors. 10 is assuming people will understand the abbreviation used in the chart. 11 is not educating people on how to read and interpret your chart. The last is not cross-checking people if they understand what is on the chart. So just avoid these common pitfalls and you will get the power of charting. So avoiding interpretation pitfalls. So kahit saang kumpanya ka mapunta, so there will be a lot of data na makikita mo kahit saan nakapaligid. So it can be tricky to interpret customer data and turn it into a powerful information. But it doesn't have to be. So just avoid the pitfalls that will be described by the next reporter.
Good evening. We should be careful not to draw the wrong conclusions when it comes to data, as it can cause you to make bad decisions. So ano nga ba ang causes ng pag-draw ng wrong conclusions? The first is making incorrect assumptions. Huwag dapat tayo basta-basta mag-assume at i-make sure muna natin na nagme-make sense at tama ang ating conclusion. Next is introducing bias into your data and its analysis. When we are analyzing data, we ought to be objective so that we can analyze data more accurately. Next is believing that a correlation means a cause and effect relationship. Two things that change together at a constant rate does not always mean that one causes the other. Next is using sample data that is not representative of the population. Kung gagamit tayo ng sample data, syempre dapat representative siya ng population na gusto mong kuhaan ng data. A simple example of this is kung ang target population mo ay current students, why would you use sample data that involves people who are not students? Another is using the wrong measurement and analytical tools and using data taken with a flawed or faulty measurement system. Next, trying to make the data fit a predetermined conclusion or solution, as well as cherry-picking the data to fit your predetermined solution. Doing this messes with the accuracy and objectivity of the data. Next is doubting what the data is telling you. Another is using historical data without understanding any holes, problems, or issues they might have. Historical data is not always perfect. Also, failing to understand the context and conditions under which the data was gathered and analyzed. Another, using novices without any coaching, mentoring, and supervision. Novices must always be supervised by experienced analysts when it comes to applying analytical tools and methods in order to further hone their skills and minimize mistakes. Lastly, is failing to validate your data. The accuracy and quality of the data should always be checked. Communicating timely with your customers. Communicating timely with your customers is very important to always know what they want, need, and expect from you. Ang kailangan mo is real-time information, which means an ongoing system. Even gather information minute to minute. Stay close and personal to your customers. Siguraduhin na ang customers ay makaka-communicate sa'yo openly, easily, and comfortably. Also, do some interviews, conduct a survey and focus groups, and do read between the lines. You can also hire someone as an employee or as a contract consultant to do it for you if you do not have anyone with good experience and knowledge with this. Thank you for listening to our report. God bless you all.